right? Most people just don't have this kind of introspection at 21. So I'm reading this, I'm like, Jesus, you're 21 and you're realizing that? This one's from Emily. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got going on here. E money. Ooh. Yay, yay. All right. Hey, Swole fam. I had a bit of insight about the general reason why I use eating as a coping mechanism, and I'm interested in hearing ideas on how to take my growth a step forward. Hashtag brain gains. Long story short, I found myself with a good list of coping mechanisms to learn more about it, and found myself with a sentence that hits the nail on the head. Psychological regression is a childish way of dealing with challenges. Drinking, overeating, and other forms of escapism are all examples of regression. I knew I had problems of feeling like a child in an adult's body. That's unfortunately not helped in my in real life community. And I knew I have tendencies to emotional eating, but I didn't know the eating was a symptom of the regression. Just pre-pandemic, I've gotten further with my physical health than ever, before getting hit the fuck back with emotional eating. And I'm fairly certain dealing with my regression will help me get back and greater than ever. So now I'm following some advice about taking the perspective of an ideal 21-year-old, I am 21, when it comes to responsibilities and emotional honesty. Aside from that, what are some other thoughts on getting psychologically swole? I know I have a long way to go, so even the obvious would be appreciated. I love this post. I love this post. Do you have, I mean, this is, so Emily, you are well ahead of your years. This is self-awareness like a motherfucker. Do you know how many 21-year-olds most people are going to hit this later on, like in their 30s or 40s. Most people will even maybe begin to scratch the surface of this. And that's really one of the problems that's going on with your generation right now. Like the 21-year-old, like this is the age range of like people that are in the streets. This is all the social justice, age range. Like this is what's going on right now. You have a lot of children in adult bodies. That's really what's going on with all this outcry and outrage. That's really what's happening, is just like children in adults' bodies. And I think that's just a good way to think about it in terms of overall, because this is just a small microcosm. This is one individual situation, but it's very common. Most people just aren't aware of it, right? Most people just don't have this kind of introspection at 21. So I'm reading this, I'm like, Jesus, you're 21 and you're realizing that? Most people that have these issues are dealing with this. This is an amazing post. I'm definitely going to cover this in some more videos. I'll probably be covering this in Red, White, Swole too. This is a great post. So I'll read that again. Psychological regression is a childish way of dealing with challenges. Drinking, overeating, and other forms of escapism are all examples of regression. So when you look at it and you think about why people eat, we know this. You get that dopamine release, but it's really that kind of unplug from it's an unplug from the regular pathways in which the mind normally functions. So the mind usually works with a certain sequence, which is exhausting and taxing, after which at the end of the day, because your mind is always puzzle piecing during the day, your mind is always focusing on tasks to completion. It's always going down different tracks, which is exhausting your body. And this is in general very vague, and I'm not an expert, of course, but it's just at night is the repair mechanism. So doing things like just eating, just mindless eating, different ways to like separate the brain and give it like a temporary release from that kind of like strenuous mental activity. Drinking alcohol is escapist, overeating, any type of just, immediate gratification is that type of like separation from the normal. That's why that's like when you're having fun, you lose track of time. You're like, oh my God, it's been 5 hours. Oh my God, it's been this. you really separate from the normal duration tracking of your brain.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's the bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. What the fuck is you saying? What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Whoa, my shit is relevant. Our topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons out closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children popping.